Everybody, all right, we are live on YouTube tonight. It is just me because Stone Hobbit decided that she had something else that she needed to do. I might pause it. Oh, here we go. Wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. Okay, that was easy. All right, I'm gonna tone down the light a little bit. It's a little bright for me, and so I'm gonna cut this video out here. And I'm still here. Yeah, so, all right, what we've been up to is, here we go. What we've been up to recently is, I don't know what that's about because it just has, okay, it doesn't show. I have a really cool, what do you call it? Like a thing when I go off camera, my little icon or image or whatever it's called. But anyway, I'm getting distracted. A little bit of a squirrel moment. No surprise. So, hey, I hope everybody's doing well. I am going to kind of do this live because Stone Hobbit kind of figured that she would be busy this evening. I did bypass going out with some other people. So came home and it was like, oh, bummer. What I'd like to do though is kind of look at some of the things that have been coming up, and maybe look at trying to figure out, because this I found these things that came out the other day, and it was like something about a relationship with money and also about having some entrenched ideas. I cannot remember. I think I did like three, or it was three. I did three different recordings. Only one got posted because some of them were just kind of, I don't know. I don't think they were really good for public consumption. Stuff comes out of the ether, man. I just have to record it. Most of the stuff that I record doesn't even get posted. But anyway, so entrenched ideas, and it was something about smelling like programs. And I found some other weird little sheet of paper. I think I ended up throwing it out because it was just like, what is this? So some of the things we get, I'm probably going to go retrieve it out of the rubbish. Some of the things don't really make sense. And sometimes they make sense when you first write them down. Like, that's really deep. And you look back, and I was like, what the heck is that? So that's kind of what I had. But this deep trenched ideas puts us in a place where we can't really see what's going on, and it's probably a really good idea to try and lift ourselves up a little bit, be a little more open-minded. It doesn't mean we have to believe what other people are saying or do what other people are saying. It's really the idea of, we don't even have to align with what other people are saying. It's just being open-minded. I learned this at a really young age. Star Trek, believe it or not, the original Star Trek. It was one of those reruns where we were talking about, somebody was telling Spock something, and he says, I see, well, that makes a lot of sense. And that other person who was talking to him says, okay, well, then you agree with me. And he said, no, I didn't say that. I said, I get what you're saying. Can't remember, I'm paraphrasing. I get what you're saying. It doesn't mean I agree with you. So we have to kind of take that perspective. Sometimes those ideas will come in handy for our protection, even. And it might even help us get to figuring out our own hurdles and challenges in life. My way or the highway, black and white, this or that thinking can make us feel hampered, but it can always also be something that can make us feel empowered. Well, it's either all this way or it's all that way, and it like puts boundaries up. And it's not to say that boundaries are bad. That's not the idea. It's that because we're trying to categorize all this stuff based on our own experience, it can sometimes overshadow or devalue someone else's experience. A good example would be maybe what some of the health system is saying, that just because you hear voices means you need to get an injection or be on some kind of medication to stop the voices. That depends on what the voices are telling you to do. My opinion, personal opinion, my opinion. I don't have the voices in my head, but I mean, there are people that have things that are audible in the part of their brain that they believe they're hearing these things. They are hearing. Their brain is being stimulated. They hear these things. There are also people that have things happening in their ears, and it's, in their ears, it's being stimulated there. There are a lot of different reasons why you might be hearing voices or things. It might be something where, and if you are hearing voices and they're being told to hurt yourself or somebody else, that's not a good idea. You need to get some help to stop that, even if you believe it's the voice of God, right? So we need to not do that. Get help. Uh, and also don't impinge on other people's space. I'm not going to say rights. I'm going to say space. Don't impede on other people's space. Because I've seen some people do some pretty incredibly odd things, and it disturbs other people. So a lot of times we have to kind of play things out, not in a public space. So that's why I kind of like this venue. This is where I feel like this should be a safe space to open up your mind, share what you got. What's the Zoom code? Okay, I don't know you, so um, who are you? At who are you and what? Oops, I'm not typing very well. All right, so I should have put a question mark in there. Sorry, that's just little me. So, and I'm not going to post it in the chat. That's not what I do. You can send me a message on Facebook. My Facebook is, oh gosh, when I just closed that document, and I honestly, I talk to, that's my job. That's what I do. Oh, I took the Facebook. Here it is. Blah, 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 blah. Maybe I took the Facebook thing off. Um, but yeah, I think I took it out of my. Yeah, I did. Sorry about that. But it does it have this little icon? But it's just Auric Vibe. It doesn't have, I mean, you can do both. I'm both Auric Vibe 1111, and it'll have my purple logo with the A, V. That's the business one. But if you're able to kind of put that in there I'm gonna have to get onto Facebook and see who y'all are. Because, let's face it, we got to be careful with our cybersecurity. I don't want to have somebody come on. Okay, hi, AZ. I thought that was you. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, unfortunately, she's busy. Yeah, I know. You said you were kind of busy, yeah. But yeah, there's just a lot of people that I encounter through the day job that they're being taken advantage of, and the people that I work with are quite vulnerable, and some of them are a bit jaded on certain things, but when it comes to cybersecurity, not so much. And I do have to, as big a pain it is, I do have to give credence and credibility and thanks to my employer, because they give us a lot of training on security, and we try to be as safe as we can with not sharing certain things. And one of those things is, and my code does change every time I do this. It's, even though it's like a live thing, my code for Zoom does change. So Yeah. So that's kind of the idea, but the human encounters is what I'm going to try to really do more of. And that's what this is about. It's about being human and being open to the unique experiences that we all have. Being open-minded. And the whole voices things, I get that because, I know that you have these ideas that come into your head and it might be in your own voice. Sometimes you can hear your dad talking and it's like you're reimagining that experience that your brain took in. That's not a loopsy doodle thing. That's totally normal. What I think is unusual is when you get to that point where you're activating other aspects of your brain and you're experiencing taste or smell. And that happened to me. I could smell someone. And I can't remember, I couldn't tell you if my eyes were open or shut. I wasn't trying to do anything. Somebody told me it was remote viewing. I wasn't trying to do anything like that. I was just sitting quiet because the day is extremely busy. It starts all day. And once it starts, it's all day. It starts in the morning, up early, usually awake at like four, at least 4 in the morning, really start cooking it out the door by 7, probably 7:30, but very busy in the morning before 7:30. Sometimes it's like quarter after. Finishing up at 5 o'clock. Typically do not take breaks except for, for those body function things that you got to do throughout the day, or most people anyway. And just kind of help things flow through the day, and then you're on your way home, and it's like you got to have that stop time. So when I get home, it says stop time. There's just, even if it's 5 minutes, just sit, it's quiet, nothing's on, sometimes burning some incense or clearing the air, and just keeping the head. It's like peeling stuff off. It's like you take this smoky little wash with with the ether, really, and use whatever visualizations that you can to kind of clear the air, as it were. And that's the day. By then, you're kind of like feeding the dog and maybe talking to a couple of people, and sit down and read or do a little something, and it's just busy, 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 busy. So when you stop for those few minutes, they're golden. And I wasn't trying to do anything specific. I just wanted to stop, be quiet, expressing gratitude that nobody got hurt today, that nobody, had a bad experience, or they were able to share what their bad experience was and they feel better when I leave the appointment. So just being quiet. And again, I didn't remember if my eyes were open or shut, but I saw a man's face, and it was a white, watery outline. It was almost, that a stencil, that was out, but this had detail and it was white and it was see-through. So the lines on it outlined what this, and it was like a 3/4 or it was this side, it was the left side of the thing, and it was like 3/4. I could see the nose, and then I kind of went, oh my God, I can see you. And I could kind of smell, but I didn't get that part out. And as soon as I said that, it just dissipated. So for me, that was hugely unusual. Hugely unusual. Because, I mean, everybody has, well, most people have dreams. And most people remember at least parts of their dreams. And there's a lot of science, or a lot of people that purport that there is a science behind what's going on in the body and the brain during these memories that you bring forward in your wakefulness. And that's like a whole different show. I wish I knew somebody who had a little bit of better grasp of it, but a more open. I don't want somebody totally clinical. I want somebody who has something to say that's relevant, that's doable. Um, yeah. So, like I said, if you are somebody who is legit, or has somebody that is legit, um, you can come forward with that. You can bring that. I'm trying to multitask. I'm not so great at doing that at this point because it's 8:15. Um, oh, are you a gamer? Okay, so Mr. LILRXD 23. Keyboard, ASMR, and view reviews. So, all right. I'm keen. I'm keen. I'm keen for that. But what's your unusual experience? If you've got something where because I don't see that you've been able to share anything where you're at, legit page. So, I mean, if you look this individual up, I don't do Fortnite. I am definitely not a PC gamer. I have we don't have an Xbox, but I did buy a PS5. This is like really freaking off topic. But yeah, I do that. I got other things here as well, but not a lot of time to do any kind of gaming stuff. But that's pretty cool. Check out L is it Lilix 23? Check out that if you do like gaming, PC gaming, I am assuming, because like I said, I don't do PC gaming. One of the kids does. I don't. But anyway, so yeah, if you've got some unusual experiences, that would be really cool. Let me see if I can't get my Facebook because I logged out. It does say Auric vibe, and it's when I went out and saw Augie. I took a picture when I was in the plane. When I went out to Arizona, that's when I met you, Arizona. Um, yeah, it's just Auric vibe. How do I find my thingy dingy here? Oh, here we go. Copy, here it is. Facebook is boom. That's just the link, but that's the more private link thing. Anyway. I have a business one. If you wanted to get some services, I can do that as well. I'm going to take some time off between Christmas and New Year and hopefully be able to encounter more people with human encounters. And if you know somebody, please do send them my way. You can check out the website. Let's see. I could probably get into that as well. Let's see. Let's see if I can do it this way. I've not signed into my website. There we go. That'll work. And this is the website. There we go. And like I said, I mean, I'm really about the idea of keeping an open mind with people and their stories. I don't know how long this is going to go for because, I mean, if you really do want to come on and share your experience and legit, reach out. Send me a message through Facebook. If you can do that, that would be cool. I'm gonna do a recorded thing either tonight or tomorrow morning early because I have more people coming over this weekend. I don't know what time, but they came fairly early last week, and I ended up having to do a recording and then posting it, and then they arrived like just a couple minutes later. So it was like bang, nonstop, nonstop. So anyway, if we have anything that's holding us back from any of the experiences and we've kind of suppressed them a little bit, that can be pretty toxic if we're not able to properly process them. And, a lot of people talk about regression work, and we even had somebody on last week with roughshod, where the individual was talking about how, I know that sounds really sterile, that's something from work, that they were talking about don't have a regression done because it throws out court. The court won't do it. There's too much, I guess, like an influence or something. I will pick that up on my phone. And I will close that out. Seriously, I mean, if y'all want to talk, I'm more than willing to talk. 179 videos. There you go. YouTube, right? All right. So anyway, what we're gonna probably end up talking about is this black and white and this or that thinking. And again, I think I posted that somewhere. It may have just gone up on Rumble. And the format might be changing up a little bit because the Saturday thing is really getting in the way. I might have to do something during the week, even if it's just like, because most of them aren't very, this is my company already sending me messages. Um, yeah, so just kind of sticking with it and making sure that we're not going to put ourselves in a position where we are going to find our that we're going to be tripping up or getting distracted. And I have to cover my image up a little bit. There we go. Yeah, I'm definitely not going to post. I can't post the room code in any kind of public chat. That's no. That opens it up to a lot of people and not potentially not. I'm not saying that you would be responsible for it, but as soon as you put that out there, people will snatch that up and you can get cooked, and there's some pretty horrible things that can get posted. Um, and by the way, one of the sweatshirts that I wear is from a combo breaker that my son and I went to in Schaumburg several years back. So that was fun. But anyway, not that that has anything to do with sliced bread. All right, so back to what we are talking about. So this and that, keeping an open mind, and it'll also open us up to being, and I don't like the idea of ascension. It's not raising a level, it's an expansion. And when you expand something out, it doesn't mean you become less dense. It means you take up more space. I don't think you're lighter either. I think you take up more space, and it's not necessarily, hopefully not 3D space, because that might get a little uncomfortable, but there's an expansion where there's more connection with not just yourself, but those around you and the things around you. Yeah. So anyway, that's all I got for that. But anyway, so what do you say? LILRX D23, you should at least say how to pronounce what your name is. And if you wanted to come on, that'd be cool. Even if it's not this evening, I would love to hear what your ideas are, what your experiences are, even if you didn't have something that would be publicly postable. I got a lot of those. Had to take quite a few videos down when they started getting very stringent with the YouTube stuff. I had to privatize, and I think I have them on saved, but I had to take them off because that would have definitely, it wouldn't have been a 1, 2, 3. It would have been, you're done, bye. And I'm not up for that. This is already something that really kind of gets in the way of life in a good sort of a way. But anyway, all right. I'm gonna have to let it go at that. I'm gonna clear the space a little bit. I might end up either doing another live later if I can get this. It feels like there's some turmoil going on right now. I don't know if it's somebody's personal life or if it's something that is a collective thing. So I need to kind of segregate what's going on for that. If you are able to like, share, and subscribe, it does really help out. Throw a comment, whatever you got going on. Arizona and my new friend here, I would love to have a conversation with you. If you're open to it, please send me a Facebook message and we'll work something out either later this evening or sometime tomorrow. And it will have to be fairly early. So everybody have a fantastic, fantastic weekend. And we will definitely see everyone.